Dear friends, this week we begin the fifth and final book of the Torah, Deuteronomy, or Devarim in Hebrew, translating to words. The book of Deuteronomy is a retelling of the commandments and instructions that the Israelites received earlier in our scriptures, but it is more than just a repetition. It is also a pep talk and a very long farewell speech delivered by Moses before his death and before the Israelites crossed the Jordan River into the Promised Land. This book, like the rest of the Torah, is attributed to Moses, who himself never crossed the Jordan River. According to tradition, he was buried outside of Eretz Yisrael, the land that he longed to enter, but was never allowed to see. Now let's pause for a moment and consider this. Tradition teaches that Moses wrote the entire Torah exactly as he received it from the divine. But this week's reading opens with the phrase, "These are the words that Moses addressed to all Israel on the other side of the Jordan." Curious, isn't it? Did anyone notice the problem here? There is a chronological inaccuracy in this verse. The phrase "on the other side of the Jordan" implies that these words we are reading were actually written in the land of Canaan, where Moses never set foot. Furthermore, the final verses of the book of Deuteronomy describe the death of Moses. How could he have written his own death? This enigma has puzzled our rabbis for centuries. The 11th century scholar Rashi, drawing on the Talmud and Midrash, presents two theories. First, that Moses was so pious and so faithful that God relayed all of this information to him, and he wrote it down as such with tears in his eyes. The second theory suggests that Joshua, the successor of Moses, completed portions of this final book after the death of Moses. Another 11th century figure, the poet and commentator Ibn Ezra, read the opening of Deuteronomy and proposed a different theory. One he revealed only in a secret code. He writes cryptically, "If you understand the secret of the 12, you will recognize the truth." Many scholars believe that the 12 refers to the last 12 verses of Torah, which describe the death of Moses and thus could not have been written by him. Ibn Ezra then lists 5 additional verses that contain chronological and narrative anomalies, similar to those found in the beginning of this week's Parsha, in order to support his argument. Ibn Ezra goes on to make the claim that Moses did not write the Torah in its entirety, and that later prophets contributed to the final compilation. Today, many biblical scholars believe in a theory known as the documentary hypothesis. This theory states that the Pentateuch was written by multiple authors over many centuries and then edited together by one or more editors to make up the Torah as we know it today. So, why did Ibn Ezra keep his claim a secret and communicate it so cryptically? He feared being ridiculed and dismissed as a heretic for his radical beliefs. This may seem extreme, but approximately 500 years later, Baruch Spinoza, a prominent 17th century philosopher, affirmed the beliefs of Ibn Ezra. Spinoza proclaimed that he did not believe Moses wrote the Torah. For this, Spinoza was excommunicated from his Jewish community in Amsterdam. The especially harsh official document of excommunication warned that no one should communicate with him, not even in writing, nor accord him any favor, nor stay with him under the same roof, nor come within 4 cubits of his vicinity. It also forbade reading any of his writings. Spinoza was cast out because of his words, his Devarim. Words are powerful. They are a unique combination of sounds and expressions that over time have inherited meaning and weight. Words are capable of toppling empires, inciting riots, inspiring change, offering comfort, providing meaning, and consoling the bereaved. In the case of Spinoza, words were enough to disrupt his entire livelihood. As we reflect on the power of words in this week's Parsha, let us remember that the words we choose to speak and the ideas we choose to share can have profound and lasting impacts. sometimes far beyond our intentions and expectations. In today's world, the power of words is more evident than ever. We live in an age where information travels at the touch of fingertips, and a single sentence can reach millions within seconds. Social media platforms, news outlets, and various forms of digital communication have amplified the reach and impact of our words. Words can influence public opinion and societal change. A single tweet or post can spark a movement, bring attention to injustices, and rally people together for a common cause. Many recent social justice movements gained momentum because individuals bravely shared their stories and spoke out against oppression and inequality. Their words resonated with millions, leading to significant cultural and legislative shifts. However, the same platforms that amplify positive change can also be used to spread misinformation, hatred, and division. Words can harm as much as they can heal. We have all witnessed too recently how false information and incendiary rhetoric can lead to confusion, fear, and even violence. With the evolved power and reach of our words, it is our responsibility not only to speak and to write, but also to listen. Let us not be like those who cast out Spinoza for expressing an unpopular opinion. At this time of intense division, during an election year, and in a period of international strife from wars abroad, it is on us to use our voices to speak out and also allow those around us to be heard. May our future as a society, as a people, as a nation, and a global collective be like the Torah of the documentary hypothesis, an artifact that is woven together across different eras, locations, and perspectives, resulting in a document that is complicated, beautiful, and sacred. Shabbat Shalom.